A few days ago, I asked for some suggestions for videos. The idea being with international break coming up, I wanted short videos, single subject that I could do 2 or 3 minutes on, sat in the van, upload them at sort of lunchtime, gives everybody something to get their teeth into, and it's single subjects. I had a few really good suggestions coming in, and I'll be dealing with those over the next few days. But this one is about Nathan Holland, and a little bit about substitutions as well, bearing in mind something that I discussed with Gio in our video last night. And before I go any further, this video is sponsored by the One Football app. The link is in the description below. It's free. It's on Android, it's on iPhone. It's a good app. It's just a general football app, but it's very, very good. And my favourite feature is the fact that you specify who your team is, and if you want, you can just get news on West Ham, and it's all the stats, all the news, all that sort of thing, and you don't have to hear any rubbish about Tottenham or anybody else that you might not fancy. So yeah, One Football app, link is in the description below. Anyway, thank you for indulging me on that. In terms of the video itself, this was sent in by somebody, and he said he would like to talk about Nathan Holland, and in particular, how Nathan Holland is not on the bench and able to offer us something different from there. And it also fed into his contractual situation. And when I received the suggestion, I thought, actually, this is perfectly aligned to how I feel myself about it. Because Nathan is dynamic. Nathan is fast. He plays with his head up. He gets crosses in early. He runs at defenders. And because he offers all of those attributes, he offers a very, very different kind of threat. And it's a threat in particular we don't have, because we've loaned out Grady Diangana, who's doing ever so well over at West Brom at the moment. Whether or not you think that the Diangana loan is good or bad, he's doing well. He's doing well, but we are denied his services because he's gone out on loan. Now, if he was still to remain at West Ham, would he have been the confident player that we see now? I don't know. I still think the loan will do him some good. But it does leave us with Antonio being injured, with a lack of any... And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you use a tripod and you don't try and rest your phone on your steering wheel to do a sneaky video in your lunchtime. I've sorted it now. Hopefully I've sorted it. Where was I? Antonio offers something different from the bench if he's on there, was basically what I was trying to say. The substitutions we are making, they're not changing anything tactically. If anything, they are slightly worse versions than what was already on the pitch, but just played in the same position. Do we get an uplift when Wilshere comes onto the pitch and he plays in that same position? No, we don't. Do we get an uplift when Fornals comes onto the pitch? And no, we don't, particularly as he has played wide right. As he's not quick enough to play as a winger. He's got to be deployed centrally. I don't particularly think Yarmolenko is a quick player, but at least he offers some assists and he offers some shooting ability with his left. It's enough to keep his marker on their toes. Any fullback worth his salt is not really going to be bothered by Fornals coming onto the pitch. Now, those of you that watch regularly will know I'm a rugby fan. I do love my rugby union. The coach that won the World Cup for England is Sir Clive Woodward. He now does commentary. If you watch the World Cup, he's on there. Now, he often criticises England managers in particular for making substitutions that they don't need to make. His argument is there's only two reasons to make a substitution. That is, if somebody is going to come on and they're significantly fitter than the person that's on the pitch, the person's either tired or they've broken down or got an injury, that's an opportunity to do a substitution. The second opportunity to do a substitution is if it's going to allow you to change things up tactically. We're working on the proviso that the people on the bench are not as good as the people on the pitch. Because here's the point. Every time you make a substitution, every time West Ham make a substitution, we get a little bit worse. Nothing is happening. Why? Because the people coming on don't necessarily have more energy than the people going off. And also the tactics aren't changing. The tactics are staying the same. So if Antonio's not on the bench, then what are we going to do? Well, Nathan Holland does offer something different. As I say, he plays with pace. He plays with his head up. He will run directly. He can get across him. I just think the opposition managers haven't got anything to worry about with what we have coming off the bench. Myself and Gio spoke about a Jetty yesterday. Looks like he's not coming off the bench. Maybe he's not good enough. We don't know. But it's quite clear that Pellegrini's not going to play a 4-4-2. So a Jetty, again, it's not being changed tactically. A Jetty's not being brought on to play alongside. Haller. We're not going to switch to 3 at the back and change things tactically. So what we've got to do is change things within the confines of the system that Pellegrini is clearly choosing to go with for this season. And for that reason, it's got to be a bit of Nathan Holland on the bench, surely. We've got to be able to go at them. We've got to be able to drive at teams. We've got to be able to get in and behind defences. We have to have the ability that if Felipe Anderson is not performing, he comes off, but we don't suddenly lose our pace because Felipe Anderson's come off the pitch. We've got to have the ability that maybe Yarmolenko comes off and Anderson goes to the right and actually put some crosses in with his right foot to Haller's head. Might be a novel thing. And then we've got Nathan Holland on the left. It's just an option on the bench. And because he's not on there, we don't ever have that option. And when we find ourselves surprisingly trailing, and I do believe that the manager was surprised that we were behind against Crystal Palace. Granted, it was near the end of the game. There's precious little we can do. Then what are you going to do? What are you going to change it? How are you going to surprise them? And how are you going to impact the game and impact the game quickly? And it does beg another question with Nathan Holland here. And that is that he's running out of contract. This is the last year of Holland's contract. I don't know about options or anything like that. But bearing in mind all the trouble we had with Lanzini's option, I don't think we could rely on anyway. I wouldn't blame Holland if Holland decided that he's not getting game time and he went out and he joined another club. But if he does, he'll do well. He'll do what Diangana's doing. And very soon, possibly even as early as next season or the season after, we'll be looking at a player who's worth 15, 20 million, who's doing really, really well, who will probably then get bought by another Premier League club from whatever club he's gone to. And we'll be absolutely gutted about it. So I do believe the time is ready for him to be unleashed. I don't think the bench is performing well enough to suggest that we shouldn't have him on the bench. I think when we play well, the first team's good, but the bench needs tweaking. And for that reason, I would get Nathan Holland on there. Please let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments below. And like I said at the start of the video, leave me your single subjects. Let me know what we're going to talk about tomorrow. That would be great. All suggestions are very much appreciated.